Hey, welcome to Car Guy Confessions, brought to you by ARP. I'm Jeff Smith. This is my car buddy Cam Benty and car builder Steve Strope, and we're going to tell you some stories.
We're ready to go? All right. Welcome to another episode of Car Guy Confessions with Jeff Smith. You ready? Okay. All right. Welcome to another episode of Car Guy Confessions with Jeff Smith. I got royalty here, man. So I'm just going to throw a couple of questions out, but this is really going to be fun. So first I want to thank our sponsors, arp-bolts.com, and also our friends at the Grand National Roadster Show. We're here. They gave us this little corner. This is just really fantastic. And there's people here. There's a great ambiance. And I'm with a couple of great guys. So let's just get started, right? So Bobby Alloway, Roy Boy, Brizio, and so you said you'd do it if he would.
I did.
And he said he'd do it if you would.
We did.
So
we're both in it together, buddy.
We're in it together, buddy. Well, you're my
this is
buddy.
going to be fun, and it's going to go by like that.
Well, it's so great to see you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a long time,
we
man.
did a lot together,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen him in
Yeah.
years.
A couple people have brought your name up as being special for them. So, we're on like our 10th interview yesterday and today. So I'm still have a voice, which is wonderful. So I like to start these things with a little bit of history. So you were giving it to me a little bit about that. Give me 5-minute history on how you got into this business. And then, same with you.
Well, years ago, of course, I'm from Tennessee, so all we could see is we just had seen the cars in the magazines. And I was lucky enough one time that Pete Shapour's Jim Jacobs and Jim Hewing had made a tour back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and me and my wife, was my girlfriend at the time, we met them, and they thanked me for using their product. And I had a Pete and Jake front and a Super Bell axle, and that made a big impression on me, and me and Pete became friends. And then he introduced me to a guy that worked at Disney named Boyd Coddington was his name. I think that was his name.
That sounds familiar.
And so that got it all started. And if it hadn't been for those guys and people like Roy, I wouldn't be doing this. I really wouldn't. So we've been great friends over the years, and then he has been a great friend of mine too. So.
Excellent. And so, how many cars do you think have rolled through your shop in those years? I mean, do you have any idea?
Well, I built when we did the Shades of the Past show, I built 33 giveaway cars. So I don't know how many but I gave away 33.
Oh my! Yeah.
I told Troy one time, I said, Troy, I gave away more cars than you've built.
So, I mean, your dad kind of got this whole thing started. Andy Brizio got this whole thing started. So, you grew up in this.
Kind of had no chance to do anything else. It was every weekend at the drag strip or at a car show or whatever. And, I guess my dad was happy I took up liking all this stuff because he had somebody to hang out with. And,
sure.
But, I enjoyed it. I loved going to the drag racing and, being around hot rods, around his shop and all. And it's been fun.
Yeah.
He got to the point in the 70s where he had enough and said, I want to go on to something else. And, at that point, and when about the time Bobby was starting his shop also, and Pete and Jake's and Super Bell, my dad was kind of getting out of it at that point and went into the speed shop business. And I still wanted to be in, doing hot rod stuff. I wasn't interested in selling parts at a parts counter. And that's when I started doing my thing. And he said I was crazy for doing it. He was probably right. He said, you'll never make any money. And he was right. And now it's almost 50 years later.
So the recommendation was sell parts but don't build cars because you can actually make money selling parts?
Yeah, but I guess I was too stupid. But, we've had a lot of fun and, meeting guys like Bobby.
Well, you get to meet a lot of people. And that's the whole deal about it. You can have everything in the world, but your friends is something, I mean.
And that's like this common theme that keeps coming up with the interviews that we do is like, I didn't do this on my own. I had a lot of help from these guys. Bill Ganal, we interviewed him today, and he spoke very highly of you and said that basically was what got him going because he really wasn't. I learned a lot because I wasn't able to go. I'd never met him. This first time so it was a lot of fun, and that the common theme there as well. It's like you can't do this by ourselves.
No.
There's a lot of people that help you along the way, and
a lot of help.
Yeah.
Employees and friends.
Yeah.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, and the thing about it is we're losing so many people now. We need some young
Yes.
guys in this because it was funny because I would call Roy and Roy'd say, well, who's died now? Because it would always be that I'd call him and he'd say, oh gosh, and I'd be calling him, telling him, did you know so and so died? And oh no,
Yeah.
and then we were scared to each other because we were telling each other how many people died that
Yeah.
I
day.
didn't want to
Well-
answer his phone call. I didn't know what he'd tell me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be coming out in another 2 weeks to go to Neil Britt's memorial.
Oh,
I used to
wow.
work with him at Carcraft
Yeah.
Family. So,
Yeah.
Don't want to make this too morbid. So,
Yeah. We don't want to do that.
I mean, with hundreds of cars built, is there a common theme with any of them? You know, or is just kind of because I hear the Alloway look.
Well, I think that and you try to tell some of these young builders and stuff, I think every builder has its own style. Don't you agree, Roy?
Yeah.
I mean, I know your cars and my cars have got a certain look. Boyd's had a look. Lobeck had a look. I mean, so I think we've all got our look.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good or bad, but
Yeah.
that's what we know. And if you come,
I
to
know
me,
Bobbies are all black.
yeah, they are, and they are.
But that's
Well, they're
part of the
beautiful.
look, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah.
Like Henry Ford said, you can have
Yeah.
any color you want as long as it's black.
As long as it's black.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you've done some eclectic builds.
Well-
I did a little research on a story that I was doing for Hot Rod several years ago when electric cars started to really build, and I talked to John McGann. I said, let me do a story on electric performance cars, and the Lincoln that you built came up,
Link
and
Bolt.
yeah, and that thing was kind of wild.
It was very wild, and it was a huge project, and I would never do it again.
So at the time, you didn't know what you didn't know, right?
I didn't know what I didn't know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
luckily we had
The concept was fun, though.
Yeah, it was a fun concept, and it was it was fun to do it for Neil, and
Uh-huh.
and he was great to work with, and he it was
And
fun to have
that's
him
kind
around
of an
the shop.
eclectic thing way out here in it'll be left field, a
Well,
little
he
bit.
wanted the heaviest, largest American-made car
Yeah, it
ever,
was a
which
monster.
is about a '59 Lincoln Continental.
Yeah.
And make it electric. It was actually a hybrid,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, because he had a little gasoline engine in the
yeah.
front that ran on E85.
Yep,
Right.
ran on
Yeah.
E85, and it was a huge project. And there was a group of guys that did all the electronics. So basically, they did that part, and we did our part, which was restore the car and wire it and put it all back together. And,
Right.
And he's honestly got 80,000 plus
Really?
miles on that car
Wow.
today. And
Wow.
we all thought he'd drive it, 1,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
In the next
then lose
25
interest in it.
years,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
yeah.
he drove it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And somehow it
That's
stayed
great.
together.
Is there one that sticks out for you?
No, not really. There's so many of them that we've done over the years. We try to do 3 to 4 cars a year, and that's been a long time.
That's a long time. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm still thinking about this electric car
So
that
it's
you built. So,
it's the
Don't tell anybody.
well, I didn't know you did it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I didn't tell anybody. How'd you find that?
Oh, I let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I just ran across it by accident. I thought, wow, this is kind of. I mean, it was interesting. The concept kind of made sense. I'm not anti-electric. As a replacement IC, no, absolutely not. As a friend of mine said, they have no soul.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. But at the same time, for certain people
Bobby,
who live in urban.
You know what this is going to happen now? Bobby's going to be giving me a bad time.
No.
So did I set you up? Did I set you up?
Yeah, I'm never going to hear
I didn't know
that.
you did that.
I didn't tell you because I didn't want to have to hear about it.
This is where they're calling it confessions.
Hey, we'd like to thank our sponsor, ARP-bolts.com. We got a fantastic little backdrop here. They make an outstanding series of bolts, almost anything you would need for engines, chassis, things like that. In fact, we were at lunch today, and a guy asked you about the bolt on the back of your shirt, and and I said, well, it's really about a head bolt. They neck the stem down of the bolt on a short, small block Chevy head bolt, so the clamp load is even across 3 different head bolt lengths on a small block Chevy. And, so that's the kind of technology that you get out of ARP. And we've all got stories on all that stuff.
Well, for a translation of what he said, call arpbolts.com.
But the message is that you can't get any better than that.
No, you cannot.
There
Yep.
you go.
Next.
We'd like to thank our friends at InTheGarageMedia.com. They have 3 fantastic magazines. They've got Classic Truck Performance, they have Modern Routing, and and my favorite, All Chevy Performance, with Nick, my buddy Nick,
Oh,
is
you're
the
so
editor.
biased.
So yes, of course. But it's a fantastic book. They're doing print media, which is of course our favorite. So
In color and
magazine.
everything.
in color and everything, and you can get your car on the cover of one of those books, which is
Right.
a fun
that's a
deal.
lot.
Great
Yeah,
tech.
great
written
tech.
by
You know,
and
not
others
always
that are
written by me, but
famous
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Famous people
Not
have written all the
always
tech.
written by me.
that's right.
Just
So
pick it
check
up and
them out
read it.
at
Yes.
inthegaragemedia.com, and they're our friends, and they will thank you. Well, you know how I found out. Will Hensel stopped by your shop one day and told me about
Okay.
it. You know,
Yeah,
and so
probably
that's
saw
how
it
I
there.
knew about it. That's how I
Do
knew
you
about
still
it.
feel good about it?
I'm not going to answer that question. No, it was a fun
So,
project.
this is
but-
going to be the last time you're going to be on our show because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
exposed you. Do you have something that kind of sticks out in your mind as something that was fun and maybe turned out differently than what you thought?
You know, we've been like Bobby and I both had these wonderful customers to work for
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that have given us, we wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't have them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, every car is special to them, and I try to make that special for me also.
Sure.
Just like Bobby and
Yeah.
and you know they're all great. I mean, there's so many cars that we've done just like Bobby, and they're all great. You
I
know,
did
to
an
me,
Ansel. So that
well,
I
I wouldn't tell anybody
I know,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
If the
I did
the
an
lady
Ansel
did
and
it,
got a Ford Design Award at SEMA with an Ansel.
Yeah.
With an Edsel.
Yeah,
they felt
Yeah.
sorry for you.
I know.
Well,
I know.
isn't it true that cars, because we're all about the same age, you know, so cars that we thought as young men that weren't
he's
very
the
cool.
young guy.
He's
We're-
the young
we're a
guy.
little older.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
too old.
I don't want to put you in our same
No.
boat then. But cars that we thought were stupid or just not practical at all, or not something you would ever think about. And then, because when we did that thing at Hot Rod with Dare to Be Different, that was just like, you know, and all of a sudden it seemed like after that you know, the alternative cars, if you wanted to call them that, all of a sudden became cool or can be potential. Would never have thought of doing a 4-door, and now there's nothing really wrong with
4-doors,
it.
yeah, people love them.
Yeah, yeah,
We've done plenty of those.
yeah.
Electric ones.
No. only did one with an Edsel grill. No, I'm kidding. You know, when you look back at some of those cars, I have to say the 50th anniversary Hot Rod car was an honor to do that.
That was
a great
very
honor
cool.
to do that
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
That is something that was
And then,
always
so you
very
tried to
special.
pull as much history, because I really don't know that much about it,
Yeah.
other than they had you build it.
Yeah,
And
when the 50th anniversary came along, you know, we were, you know, friendly with John Diana in those days, and he'd asked me about doing it, and he had Chip Foose do the rendering, and
Right.
at the time Chip wasn't building cars, and, and so, you know, he said, "Would you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
do it." You know,
yeah.
That was a great honor, and they still have the car at the Peterson Museum.
Okay,
and
excellent.
it's fun to see it when we're there.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so.
What was that powered by?
302 Ford.
Okay,
You
all
know,
right.
a little 302
Yeah,
Ford in it.
yeah.
And quick change rear end, and it was basically taking the original car but making it a late model car.
Make
but
it
still have
more
the old
modern.
flavor,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
That was a fun
Wow.
car.
302 Ford. Put a Ford in a Ford.
Put a Ford in a Ford.
How about that?
Yeah, me and Roy got together with a good friend of ours, Angelo Jim Petroni, with Ford Racing.
Angelo. I know
Yeah,
Angelo.
He's a
Angelo,
great friend. And
Yep.
he's still kicking, and
Good.
He's good, but it's I can tell you a small story. Angelo, I did a bunch of little cars called Speed Stars years ago. When Boyd told me it wouldn't work, but it worked pretty good. But he said, "You're going to go back to Tennessee and build these old cars out of duct tape and Bondo and try to sell them." And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And we did. But anyway, but Angelo said he was trying to get me to use some Ford motors when he was with Ford Racing, and I told him, and back then we were using Chevrolets and everything because it was a little harder to put a Ford in a street rod. And I said, "I've got too much Chevrolet stuff." Well, in 1998, my building burnt to the ground. I lost everything.
Ooh.
I mean, it didn't have nothing left. Everything was gone.
Wow.
And my good friend Angelo called me about 2 weeks later, and he says, "Now, what's your excuse about not using a Ford motor? You don't have any Chevrolets left." Seriously, he did. And I said, "I don't have any excuse."
Okay,
And then it
okay.
began, and it was a great experience with him.
Uh-huh.
It really was with him.
Yeah.
And that's when I started having some experience with you at the time,
Yeah.
I guess, from Angelo.
Yeah, because
so.
Bobby and I were pretty much putting all the Ford motors in at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. That was a fun
It was.
10, 15 years we did that together.
Yeah.
And really, it was great to hear people come up and say, finally, Ford's in Ford. And it was good for Ford racing and Ford
Oh,
Motorsport.
absolutely, sure.
They sold a lot of crate motors in those years.
Yeah.
And it worked out fine for everybody.
They
sure
did.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
And Angelo was a great guy. He's a big part of this whole.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, he's a great ambassador for Ford, right? Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He sure is.
Before that, Gratiot Auto Supply.
Right.
He came from
right.
Gratiot.
And that was all, that's all I read about when I was a kid was Gratiot
Gratiot
Auto
Auto
Supply
Supply.
from Detroit. Yeah, absolutely. So do you see any trends, something fun, different?
It's all ahead of me. I mean, I'm still a carburetor guy, so
Yeah.
everybody says you've got to learn this fuel injection. I said, no, I don't. Don't make me do that. I don't want to.
There's really nothing wrong with carburetors.
No,
I got carburetors on a lot of my
but
engines.
I don't know. I mean, these young kids now that's doing this, and then Roy will tell them. I mean, they've passed us up. They really have. All the cars that you see in here with all the computer generated stuff on them and stuff, and they're neat. And we're still building the old hot rods, I guess, and stuff like that. But it's
But I
we
think,
enjoy it.
but traditionalism never goes away with hot
right.
rodding, So I think there's always a place for that. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Me and Roy have about the same type of customers. I have about 5 or 6, and that've been with me for a bunch of years.
Uh-huh.
And we're not really taking anything else either. We're going to all try to finish it out together. And,
Okay.
And I'm not quitting, but it's
We're going to slow it down a little bit.
Well, I'm going to try to a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to quit chasing. Let these young guys chase it. I chased it for a long time.
So what's in your shop right now? What are you working on?
Oh, I've got a 66 Corvette,
Okay.
265 Mustangs, a 52 Cadillac, a
52
33
Caddy.
Ford. I mean, there's a half a dozen things in there. So
That's very cool.
2 Nomads. And,
Yeah.
That
So
type of
what's the 52 Cadillac? What are you doing to that?
Coupe de Ville. It's on a chassis. It's got a big block in it.
Okay.
Carbureted.
Yep.
It's long and low and black and
That sounds like a line from a Brooks Springsteen song.
we're building it for a customer of mine, a friend of mine in South Dakota, Larry Olson, and he wears cowboy boots all the time, and I suicided the doors on it. I told him, I said, I'm going to suicide these doors on it, so when you get out, your boots come out first. I said, they'll think it's Porter Wagner coming out of that Cadillac. And that sold him in just a minute. He said, turn them doors around.
Turn them doors around. That sounds like fun, actually.
I shouldn't have done it.
Well, because it was a lot of
harder
work.
to do than I
I
thought.
imagine.
More work than he thought.
Yeah,
it sure was,
yeah.
I opened my mouth and he said, do it.
Yeah, but a lot of times that's what you got to do. You just have to go for it. You get an idea, and it's like we can make it work,
some
even
of
though
that
we've never
stuff,
done it before, right?
Some of that stuff, my wife's mother says that I've sort of lost my stinger sometimes. When we was young, we had that stinger, and we wanted to do all of this. Now I've sort of lost my stinger.
Looks like too much work. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe you'll get them some tennis shoes, and then you don't have to worry about having them wear them cowboy boots.
Right, you're exactly right.
Be cheaper.
Yeah.
For both of you.
So how about you? What's in your shop right now?
Right now it's kind of fun. I'm enjoying. We're doing some 30s cars, all Fords, of course. Got a 51 pickup, which is we've done a couple of those over the years, but mostly now I've got 32 high boys and 3 windows and Victorias and 33, 34s. I'm enjoying doing those again because we did all those for years, like Bobby.
Right.
And then the fat fender cars were coming along, and we were getting into the 55 Chevys and Nomads, and now we're kind of back into doing some early Fords, and those are my favorites. My favorites have always been the 30s Fords.
And I have to admit that I'm a street machine guy, so it's like so when I became the editor of Hot Rod, in fact, with Bill, we were talking about his dad, and when I took over Hot Rod from Pat stayed on. And so my very first day, I said, dude, you got to come to lunch with me because we need to talk, right? And I said, I really need you because I'm the street machine guy. So right away, all the traditionalists from Hot Rod are all going, oh, the book's over. We might as well just go home, right? Because that guy meaning me, is going to ruin this book, right? And I knew that going in. So it's like, okay, dude, you got to help me.
Yeah.
you got to help me with this. And of course, Gray was like, sure.
Oh, yeah,
anything,
you had Gray.
You know. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
You had Gray. That was
And
great.
so I had a great team because I had Pat, I had Gray, and I had Marlon Davis. So I was like, this is a home run team. And it worked out very, very well. Very, very well. And so, but that kept that traditionalism
But
isn't
Jeff,
going.
we were worried about you also coming in from being a street machine because we were hot rodders and we're looking at you going,
Yeah.
hey, does this guy know anything about hot rodding? But we knew you had Gray Baskerville.
Right.
So we were
Right.
safe.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So then we fast forward to a year ago, and my buddy Will Hansel's got remember the budget beater that he built for Hot Rod?
Alloway
Okay.
Roadster,
Well,
yeah.
he kept the car,
cool.
and he lived in Detroit, so he sent it out here to have TCI do some front suspension work on it to make it a little more stable, a little more fun to drive. And then we're talking, and he says, so I said, so you shipped it out to and they're going to fix it, and then you're going to ship it home. He goes, no, I'm going to drive it back. I went, really? So who's going with you? He goes, nobody. And I went, dude, you can't do this by yourself. Well, he's totally set me up. So all of a sudden I realized I'm saying, dude, I'll go with you.
Yeah. Yep. You got it.
And I had never spent any time in a roadster ever in my entire life, right? Closed coupe car my entire life. And I thought, what did I just get myself into? But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. We had weather, we ran out of gas, we did stupid stuff. And, parts fell off the car, it overheated, but it was a lot of fun. So he dropped me off. I live in Iowa now. I don't live out here anymore. And he dropped me off at my house in Iowa, and it was like he had another, a day and a half to drive home. And I was like, take me with you. He said, no, I'm picking my cousin up at the airport. So sorry, you got to stay here. I was like, dude, I wanted to keep going.
Yeah,
it was so much
you
fun.
Enjoyed it. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So that's as close as I got, But, it's like, I should build one of those things. It's like, well, I got to finish 9 other projects first. Yeah. So, road stories? How about a road story?
Road stories. Me and my wife went to the Turkey Run in a 33 3-window coupe, blown small block.
Blown
Right
small
on.
block.
And I bought a set of fenders, had a real cool black car, bought a set of steel fenders at the Turkey Run, strapped them on the back of the coupe, wrapped them up. I stole some blankets out of the motel, wrapped them up, tied them to the door hinges, hauled them on the back. We get to Atlanta, and it was so cold that night, and I didn't have any antifreeze in the car, and I had to drain the block on the car in the parking lot because I was afraid it'd freeze and bust. And the car didn't have any heaters in it. And my wife, Cindy, she was freezing to death because there was more air coming in around the doors of that coupe than it was. And anyway, we were young, and it was just a great time.
Yeah,
it sure
exactly.
was, so.
Exactly. Yeah. How about you?
We're still doing road trips. In fact, we're hoping next year we're going to put a trip together to go back to one of Bobby's, the Triple Crown that he does.
We need to talk about
Tennessee. And but we did it for years with the Rod and Custom. We did 10 straight Americruises I went on.
Wow.
Back then we did the first one, and then it was like, okay, Roy, put a group together, and every year we did it for 10 years in a row. But we're still doing trips. We just did one last summer. We took a group of 22 hot rods, and we drove from California out to Speedway Motors in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Spent a couple days and turned around and drove back. And we had a great time. And the oldest guy on the trip was like 90 years old.
Wow.
The youngest one was, in their 30s. And we had a really good time, and we're still doing that. We're planning trips every summer. We're going to Canada this year.
Excellent.
With a group of cars, and we enjoy the road trips.
Yeah. And it's all about enjoying your car, right? It's all about putting miles on it.
The friends,
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, in the hotel bar, BSing all night. We have a good group of people we usually do it with.
Yeah.
It's great.
So tell us about your show.
The Triple Crown, I did a show, or part of a show in Pigeon Forge that we did for 39 years, Shades of the Past.
Yeah.
And we moved it was at Dollywood, and Dollywood didn't extend our contract, and I was probably the youngest member in the club, and they decided to disband.
Okay.
And my wife had said, you've worked real hard at this. Are you ready? And I said, no, I'm not ready. And we did a Street Rodder magazine, Vintage Air, Classic Instruments, Steve Tracy at Advanced Plating. Years ago, those guys had come up with this deal, Triple Crown of Rodding, and they wanted to do a real good an award for a street rod, a street cruiser, and a street machine.
Okay.
Three different awards, and
Sure.
wanted to know if I would do it at Shades of the Past, and I agreed to do it. I said, I'll do it if we can pick it. You know, I mean, to try to keep the politics out of it.
Right.
And they said yes, so we did that. So, make a long story short, I had decided that I wanted to maybe do that, and then I decided I didn't want to do it. And then Chip Foosh called, and that Chip, is his name, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Chip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And he called and said, I hear you're going to do a car show. And I said, I don't know if I am or not. And he said, well, I'd like to help. And my exact words to him, what can you do? I mean, he can't walk through here without, bless his heart.
Yep.
But he said, maybe I could I said, Chip, he said, I'll do anything you want me to do. Then he fired me back up on it. And I talked to a friend of mine in Ohio by the name of Gary Case. He did Styling Concepts and did Hot Rod Hardware.
Yeah.
And he wanted to sort of invest in it. And I said, I don't need that. I need help. And there's the beginning of the end, because he's took it over, and he ramrods the whole thing, and he's great. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have it. But anyway, we tried to find a place to have it, and the only place we could find was the Super Speedway in Nashville.
Okay.
And so I called you, Roy. You were the first one that I called, and I said, Roy, I'm going to do a car show, and he sometimes he tries to talk like me, and he said,
talks funny.
yeah, he says, well, when is it going to be, and I'll be there, and he did, and everybody came. Thank the Lord. Thank you so much. But and it was very humbling. It was
How big a show was it?
It was big the first year.
Yeah.
We had about 1,500 cars the
1,500
first
cars.
year, but
Wow.
the quality was
Great.
unreal.
And the people that came.
Yes, everybody came.
Every friend that he asked to come came.
I said I wanted it to be the Woodstock of car shows.
Oh,
Everybody comes,
that's
everybody
great.
has a great
Yeah.
time, and they did.
So I missed that too.
Yeah,
I
you
missed the
should've
real
been there.
Woodstock, and I missed that.
Yeah,
too.
but I thought, well, the first year they'll come because I asked them to come, and the second year the show's got to get them there. Well, the second year the vendors doubled and the participants doubled, and we had about 3,200 cars.
Woo.
And this coming year we've got 180 vendors,
Wow.
and they're all automotive vendors, all big rig type stuff.
Yep.
Our motel sold out in about 11 hours, and it's humbling. It really, because everybody has come and like security wanted to know what we were going to do, how you want it handled. And I said, you treat everybody like your mama.
There you go.
And that's the way they've been treated. And me and Gary are doing this because we love the sport. And like I was telling those, when you're doing it for the love of the sport, not for the money, you can do it. You can.
Yes.
And I understand these guys doing this to make a living, and that's great, because we need a place to go. But we're just trying to I'm trying to give, or me and Gary's trying to give these young guys a place to show their products.
And I think,
stuff
unfortunately, with some corporate takeovers and things like that part of this thing has been lost.
it is, but I invited NSRA to come, and they came last year and gave an away award. Good guys came and gave an award, and Mark Metters told me this year he's coming and going to give the Gary Metters Memorial Award away at the show, which is great.
That's great. That's fantastic.
And nobody's in competition with each other. Let's try to support the sport.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And try to get some of these young kids in it and going, because we're old.
We're old.
Yeah.
We need the young people. We love when we see the young people get involved.
Yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
out here at the show this weekend, it's amazing. I don't know if you went up to the Suede Palace.
I did.
Bit up there. It's to see the young guys getting into those cars.
Yeah,
and what they're
I like
doing.
going through there.
I do
It's
too. They're so
a different
creative.
world. It's a different world, but it's cool. It's
But
cool.
They're very creative. in
Yeah.
what
When we
they're doing.
started, we were in a different world too, weren't
That's
we?
true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And if you think of the history of Hot Rod,
I mean, it was all about hot rods. That was a bad term. That would be like Hell's Angels today, in terms of tearing people up on the highways and streets and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the whole idea behind hot rod, was to more legitimize it.
Well, you knew it when you were trying to buy an original part for a 32 or 33. You had to lie about what you were doing with it, because you couldn't. You're not going to put that on a hot rod. Are you? Oh no! I'm restoring
I would never
this car.
do that.
Or when we'd find a really, really nice early Ford, and the guy's going, "No, you're not making a hot rod out of that."
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's not for me. It's for my friend here. We've unfortunately or fortunately took some beautiful cars apart over the years. And,
but it's.
They're usually were the easiest ones to work on. Too.
Sure, exactly, because they weren't all rusted up, right?
Up.
Yeah. So you didn't have to do a lot of work to them. Yeah. We did a story one time with Rod Sabry where he took a literally 100-point Corvette, turned it into a pro street car, and that brought a lot of consternation, So you can imagine the response on that deal.
Yeah.
You're going to do what with that?
Letter to the editor.
Oh yeah. So I get it, But it's okay, because this is also an art form, right?
Some of this stuff we're doing on some of those, like you said, that 100-point car, what we're doing to them is refining them a little bit where you can actually get them out and use them.
Yeah.
And now it seems like the modifieds are bringing more than the original cars.
Yes,
because
exactly.
people want to drive them. Now, you take some of those holy grail cars that you don't want to touch, but most of the times, if we're trying to find a really good car to build now, we try to find the best car we can find.
Sure, yeah. Because ultimately, it's going to cost you less.
It is.
To build, yeah. So you're about to transition out of it, but in the past, was it more like, did you tend to choose your customers? Because
at the beginning, you had, like Roy, we had to do whatever we had to do.
Whatever came in the door.
It came in the
But
door.
the last 20 years, I have interviewed. You hate to say it like this, but I have interviewed my customers, because once you're married to them for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
And if they're not on, and it needs to be fun for both sides. We do some seminars at SEMA, and Roy's done it with us. So you try to tell the young guys that you got to love what you do, and you got to be. And our customers, they don't have to have what we're doing. It needs to be fun for both sides.
Right.
And I want to know if I can do what they're expecting me to do, and in a time frame that I can do it, because I could care less how it starts. I'm interested in how it ends.
Yeah.
Because you always remember the end.
Yep.
But all of my customers are just like yours. They're friends.
Yeah.
They all come.
Oh yeah, and that's what makes it really special, right?
They all come to the shows with us. They all go out and eat with us. And Boyd asked me one time, he said, "How do you have all of your customers over at that one trailer?" And I said, "The trick to it is I tell Larry what George is doing, and I get them involved in each other's projects. And hey, they're over there handling themselves. I don't have to no more. So
No, introducing all of them together, and we've had more fun doing that.
Yes.
You go out to dinner, instead of having two people, and how am I going to take care of him, and how am I going to have time for him? Come on, we all go together.
We all go together, and it's almost like a family,
become
right?
Friends.
Yes.
They don't even need us anymore.
Yeah.
maybe one of them might buy too.
Well, maybe. That happens.
lucky,
that does happen once in a
Happen
while.
much, so
It happens.
And I think the other part of it is too with my relationship with like Scott Sullivan, right?
Yeah.
We did a story one time on the because I helped him long distance with mechanical things and issues, and it dawned on me that I think a lot of people think of you guys, accomplished car builders, as you just the car rolls in there and you just wave your magic wand and it's done, right? And they don't see all the grief that comes as part of it, And so the story was that.
It's like what Bobby said. If you don't love what you do, I mean, Bobby will tell you the same. It's 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week.
Sure.
But that's how you put your
and the time you give away. Like I say, it's easy to build a car. It's hard to finish a car.
Yeah.
And that finishing a car, you give this and you give that, but you want to try to give that cut. You got to love it. You got to love it.
Yep.
And that's what, honestly, I look at some of the young kids today. When I look at, I grew up in my dad's shop. We went to work. every Saturday. I
Yeah.
just figured every kid worked on
Yeah,
Saturdays.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But
Wasn't
it
until
was
later they
work.
found out that's like, wait a minute, people get Saturdays off?
But
How's
you
that
know,
work?
now it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to, put 10 hours in or
Yeah.
8 hours in or work on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, if you think you want to be in this,
But that's what it's going to take,
it's what it's gonna
and
take.
I don't know if you feel this way, but on the days that I don't want to do it, I'm thinking, but it's so become so used to it
Yeah, you
that
just
now
do
it's
it.
just you just do it because that's what's going
and
on.
it's-
Yeah.
And he has the same problem I have is saying no to people.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's really
Yep.
been hard for both of us.
I'm having the same problem.
we're both blessed with so many great people to work for.
Mm-hmm.
That if they ask, can you do this for me? It's like, how can I say no?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But they
That's
made
been
it.
tough.
They helped us they helped us make a living.
absolutely,
They helped us
Sure.
support our families.
Yeah.
They helped us do that. So
Yeah.
you dance with the people that duck you to the dance.
absolutely. No, it's very important.
Yeah.
They're the most important part of what we do.
And
with our
that's
customers.
when people ask me about what I've done, I get the same vibe that you guys are. It's not about the machines or the motors that I built or anything else. It's more about the guys that I've met, like you guys. And it's like, and we all talk the same language. And then you bring someone comes from the outside trying to explain it to them. It's like, how do you explain beauty? How do you do that? High as up. It's really, really difficult, and because the car is the focus, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm getting that from almost all of the interviews I've done since we started doing this 100 shows ago, and it's all about the people. It's really more about
most
the
of
people.
the build. Once the car's done, it's sort of like dating, and it's. But all of our customers enjoy the building part of it, the helping and all of that. And once it's done, well, we're ready to do another one. Let's do something else. Let's start this honeymoon again. So, but and really, I know a lot of yours. They'll ask me, well, what do you want to build? You got anything you really want to build? And so we're fortunate. A lot of times, I get to build what I want to build, and they pay for it.
For them, yeah, exactly.
And then
There
we
you
get
go.
to keep it for a little
There you
while,
go.
enjoy it, and then give it back to them. So.
That's great. I had not thought of it before, but that sounds
What
really.
it is, and it's worked for both sides like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It works two-way street. Our customers and us, we both end up getting what we wanted in the end.
And repeat customers are the best in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, once you know what they want and they know what they're going to get from you, then the bills are easy after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because everybody's on the same page, and and this is fun.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
You wanna
Because
make
you're
it fun.
creating. Yeah.
You want to agree, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So, is there anything else? I mean, we got a few minutes.
I don't want to talk about that electric car again. That I didn't know that you did.
Wait,
Let's talk about that Edsel instead. When he told me he was building an Edsel, I go, how are you ever going to make that thing look good? And honestly, when it got done,
Here's what bothers
when
me.
you started it in the rear and walked around,
Yeah.
stopped before you went to the front, it was beautiful.
What
It's when
bothers
you
me
got
is
to the
everybody
grill.
says, that's the prettiest Edsel I've ever seen. Well, that ain't saying nothing. Say it's the prettiest car. Don't say it's the prettiest Edsel I've ever seen.
Well, it is. It is the prettiest Edsel.
But that's an accomplishment,
Well, yeah,
right?
it was.
Yeah, that's a home run.
That was a win-win if you can have the prettiest Edsel. That doesn't even sound very hard to do.
Yeah.
Is there something you'd want to build that you haven't done yet?
God, no, I think I've been pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
There's always something you think about, but we got a couple cars we're building right now. We got a really cool 34 lowboy, I call it, with a 37 truck grill on the front.
Okay.
That I haven't showed Bobby any photos of it yet, but it's something
It's
Bobby will like.
electric.
I'm trying to figure out where I can put an Edsel part on it, and it's exciting. I'm really excited about this car because it's been a while since I got excited. I really am into this.
Yeah.
But it's something pretty special. I think it'll be a fun car when it's done, and I think my friends like him, I hope will enjoy it too.
Yeah.
'cause,
Yeah. And I get the thing too that it's like you're building it for a customer, or if you're just building a car to represent your shop, that you're not building it for the world. You're building it for a handful of people, and you're looking for their.
You want people. When I build a car, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I want him to come and look at it
Yeah.
and tell me that I've done a good job.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's important for my peers to.
Yep.
That's what you're building it for, to try to get approval from them. And
Yep.
it's so funny. I was just sitting here thinking when he was talking about that how all of us car builders that we all just love cars and we all seem to like the same type of stuff, because I brought a little Porsche here this year.
Okay.
And then he has a couple of Porsches, and I have a couple of Porsches, and we're street rod people, but we're still like.
We like
Porsche.
Porsche.
We
We
like
like
Porsches.
356 Porsche.
Yeah, we
and
do.
he just built a really bitchin' one.
Really?
But,
Yeah.
Well, you've got some too. So.
You know,
What's special about it?
What's
well, it
black?
looks like a hot rod. and it's black with red
It's
interior.
a German hot rod?
But it's got a rake on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I stepped out a little bit. I did something. I'm not much. We've not done a lot of those, and I wanted to try something on it, and you don't know whether it's going to work or not. You know?
Right.
The first time I cut a Corvette up and put big back tires on it, and little front tires on it, and took it to SEMA, I thought, oh gosh, these Corvette guys are going to kill me. Well, and then this Porsche people, I don't know about this deal, but I did a little chassis for this car and set it down on it, so
Okay.
it's got a little narrowed beam, and
Yeah.
it's got a little hot rod stance to it. But
Uh-huh.
it seems to have went over decent anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
How long has that car been done?
It ain't done yet.
It's not done yet.
It's here. but it's
Oh,
not
okay.
done
All
yet.
right.
It's
Well,
built.
they're never
It's built.
done.
We haven't finished it.
Yeah,
yet.
they're never finished, right? Yeah, there's always something more that you
Unfortunately,
can
there's
do.
always something that has to be done on it. Yeah.
So when you're married to the car, do you get a car back like 10 years later? Somebody brings it back
know,
and wants
I
you to up?
have sold a couple cars over the years that I was fortunate to buy them back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there was times I needed money for something else, buying equipment or whatever,
Yeah.
and generally the people I've sold cars to, I knew them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of those deals. Hey, if you ever want the car back, or I'd say, hey, if before you ever sell it, give me a shot.
Give you a shot at it. Yeah.
And it didn't always work out that way, but
Yeah.
fortunately, I was able to get some of my fun cars back that I traveled cross country with, and
Yeah.
so I've got most of the ones I need back.
And that's the
Yeah.
same way with me. If I have a customer that wants to build something else and he decides he might want to get rid of one of the builds, then generally I'll try to buy it back.
Uh-huh.
And I have bought a few back like you, some of the
Yeah.
ones that I really like, and I've bought them back and I've kept them. So
Problem is, Bobby's like me. We never have time to drive any of them.
no.
So you go, which one's running and it's perfect and ready to go? Which one's the easiest one to take out?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
we're always working on somebody else's car.
right.
But someday we're going to spend more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
doing that.
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
You're working at it a little harder
I'm
than
working
I am
at it
right
as hard
now.
as I can right now. Yeah. We got a few left to get done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think neither one of us is ever going to be done. It's in your blood, so we're just
It
trying
is.
not to. Like I say, I don't want to chase it no more. Do you?
I mean, we've both been on a roll for close to
long time.
50 years, both of us. And
Yeah.
there's always a deadline every single year,
Yes.
sometimes 2 or 3 in the year. And when you're,
And
full
those are
throttle
tough.
all
Those
the
are
time.
tough.
But if
Because-
there's not a deadline, you never finish it.
Well, that's true. But
As a friend of mine once said, if it wasn't for the last minute, we'd never get anything done,
you're
right?
I mean, and that's how a lot of cars have gotten finished of car shows like this.
Uh-huh.
They give you a goal to get them done. And,
Yeah.
And if you don't have that goal, they just don't get finished that
Right.
year. They linger on till the next
Yep.
year.
Yep.
So.
And then they end up dusty in the corner somewhere,
You know,
right?
We
Yeah,
try not
yeah.
to do that. He's like me. We want to get the cars done and get them
Yeah,
to the customers.
yeah.
But the deadlines, I'm not going to miss those. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of be on a roll of like, hey, we got a couple of years to do this, and
Mm-hmm.
not like, hey, can we get this done in 6 months or by next year, where it's a 2-year project and you're doing it in a year. It's-
Yeah, yeah. Then the
It was
thrash is
easier
on.
to do 30 years ago. It's not
Yeah.
as easy to do that now.
Yep.
It was easier to do 10 years ago.
We slept in our shops way too many times.
Exactly.
And I think, I think sometimes about how the outside world views this industry, and they don't really understand it at all, and it's like those are things that your average person who goes to a 9-to-5 job and comes home and complains about his boss doesn't think about. He would never volunteer to do a 24-hour, overnight on his shop and get some project done. That's just, no, we just don't do that. And yet that's almost like expected.
Yeah.
In this side of the industry, but it's all because of the passion. Right?
You're exactly
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Well,
And
we've learned to plan better, Bobby, right?
Well,
Yes,
that's
I
probably
guess,
the
I
best
guess.
part of it, right? Is
We've
you
learned
know
to
over the years you've
plan
learned
it
how to
out.
how to make this work, right? You know, reverse timelines and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I say, it's all about the people and this whole little industry.
Yep,
And like
yep.
I told you, if the world was like that guy right there, it'd be a better place.
Yeah,
'cause
well-
Roy Brizio is a great guy.
And that's why I invited you guys to be here. So,
My buddy.
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well,
great to see you,
how,
Jeff.
what a great way to end this.
Well, we haven't
know?
seen you enough. So
I know.
We
I know.
need to get out
We-
to the.
I need to come up to.
Either need to get out there to see him, or get
I need
out
to go both
California.
places.
You
Yeah,
need
my-
to come to a little show called the Triple Crown of
the
Raleigh.
trip. I think that it's calling me. I can hear it calling me right now. All right, cool.
All right,
Well,
great.
we want
Thank
to
you.
thank our sponsors, ARP-bolts.com, and of course the Grand National Roaster Show.
And ARP sponsors the Triple Crown of Raleigh.
There you go. See, there's the tie-in. There's the tie-in, man. So, and there's reasons for that. There are reasons for that. Really, really good reasons. So, if you like what we're doing, I thank my friends here for coming along. And if you like what you see here, we'll just keep telling you stories.